We have to go to circus, Perky. What are you doing?
Protecting myself in case a tiger comes.
But there are no tigers in this area.
I saw it on NetGeo yesterday. A tiger jumping onto a peacock and tearing it apart.
That was probably in some far-off rainforest in Indonesia.
Yes, but what if it breaks out of the circus?
We no longer live in a cave or on a tree. We have created a world with every possible technology to give us comfort and protection. And still, we feel threatened. And these threats are often not of being eaten up by a wild animal, but all those what-if scenarios, from disease to death, from pain to poverty, from being unloved to being left alone. In the last episode, we explored how the stress affects us. Now let's delve a little deeper on how to address these stressors. Hi, I'm Dr. JYOTI Kapoor and we are at Manisthali, where mind meets matter. Let's tame the tiger. Stress is triggered by the external environment, but the reaction that occurs in our internal environment. Therefore, the first rule of stress management is to explore the internal environment. And what is internal environment? It's our perception and our interpretation of what's occurring around us. Let's take an example. We are traveling in a lift and suddenly there is a loud sound and the lift comes to a halt. There are 5 people in the lift. How do they perceive the event? Let's look at that. Now all 5 people were in the same situation, but their reactions were very different. This is because each one perceives the situation differently. And there lies the key to managing stress. So stress perception and coping depends on these individual factors. 1. One's dominant personality traits. Anxious people perceive stress sooner and more. Relaxed people perceive less stress. It also relates to our innate ability to cope with stress in general. 2. One's immediate mental state. One who is already rushed or upset about something will perceive more stress compared to one who is currently in a relaxed state. The psychosocial state is also important. Being alone or being in somebody's company, being supported or not being supported, being socially secure or insecure, all colors our perception and therefore our reactions. 3rd, one's immediate physical state. A person in pain or having a nature's call or discomfort pertaining to body can't be at peace in the mind and so would perceive more stress. Identifying our stress perception and management skills is not always easy. Most of us are subconsciously attuned to looking around for threat and protection. We hardly look within ourselves and feel helpless in situations that are out of our control. So what are common stress coping strategies? A child is stressed because she has an exam and she doesn't feel prepared enough. She is unable to eat, has to go to washroom repeatedly, is unable to relax or study. She becomes more and more anxious as the day passes, regretting that she didn't study earlier, justifying her inability to study because of a fight with a friend, blaming parents for not supporting her, blaming teachers for forcing children to go through curriculum they don't enjoy, and ends up all the more angry, frustrated, and sad. She shouts at her mother in the night, who is coaxing her to eat something, and in reaction, mother shouts back that because she didn't do her studies consistently through the year, now she's blaming them. The child can't sleep at night, and next morning in exam, her worst nightmare comes true. She can't remember anything. Sound familiar? So now let's see what stress coping strategies were employed here. I will skip the academic jargon here and use layman terms. First, focusing on the outcomes. What if I don't do well? I will be blamed. Second, focusing on the causes. But I'm not the only one to be blamed. I couldn't study because I was so upset. And then even mom didn't listen. And teachers just don't care. Why don't you do your homework? They just think you're lazy. Third, blaming self or others. Fourth, over-justification. If it would have happened to A, she would have also not been able to study. It's just that she has such a brilliant mind and her house is so quiet and her parents so supportive. Fifth, fight to prove one's victimhood. Oh, I am so unfortunate. I am so stupid. I am so weak. What can be done? First, focus on the immediate problem. I have an exam and I have to be able to retain my understanding of the subject. Second, prioritize the need of the hour. What topics I have a command over and what topics I can work on in limited time. Third, relaxation exercises for physical symptoms of anxiety. I am unable to eat because I am anxious. Let me calm down. Breathe, go for a walk, have something light that eases my stomach or drink water. Fourth, avoiding thoughts on what can't be done or could not be done. You can tell yourself, today, I don't have to think of yesterday. Let me just focus on today. I can worry about the past later. And fifth, seeking support from available family members or friends. Let me talk to my mother, friend, my counselor. Maybe they have some tips to help me. I'm sure most of you can understand which strategy will give better outcomes in the end. But why are we not able to employ them when required? It's primarily because we don't practice them in routine. I often use the Bhagavad Gita's most commonly uttered shlok in such circumstances and will be coming back to it time and again in future because it's always helped me. It's the ultimate strategy for stress management. Karmanyavadhika raste ma phaleshu kadachan ma karma phalhe turbhurma te sangos tav karmani. You have the right to work only, but never to its fruits. Let not the fruits of action be your motive, nor let your attachment be to inaction. How do we practice it? Whenever I tell people to focus on the practice and not on the outcome, the immediate reaction is that then where will the motivation come from? But motivation, if attached to an outcome, will always be temporary. Once you have achieved something, you will need more motives. And if you haven't achieved what you desire, all the other things that are already existing lose significance. Therefore, we need an awareness into the motivation itself. Why we have a certain goal, what's the final fruit we seek. These are obviously questions of far greater significance. But for all practical purposes of managing day-to-day stress, let me summarize it for you. First, stress is a reaction, not a situation. Second, our reactions can be in our control even if the situation is not in control. Third, we can watch our reactions as an observer and choose a response. Fourth, strategies to calm oneself like breathing exercises, physical exercises, and talking to someone calmer can be learned with regular practice. And fifth, focus on the moment and prioritize what needs to be done. It can help us feel more in control. Of course, stress management doesn't just happen in the stressful moments. As I said earlier, it's a mindset, something we need to cultivate with regular practice. And once we practice the skills regularly, it becomes a personality trait rather than practice, like driving or cooking. Mental health is thus a journey. The way we have to do regular physical exercises and have good diet to maintain physical health, similarly, feeding our brain positive thoughts and practicing positive stress coping strategies helps in keeping us mentally healthy. So let's start the practice today. Cheers to health and wellness. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like and share it. ONESELF, where mind meets matter.